Hi, I'm Craig from BBM and this will be my 15th Scottish 6-day trial, and here's our final tips before next week. Right, it really isn't long now until the Scottish, just a few more days to go, and the last thing we want to talk about is backpacks and what you should carry around with you in the Scottish 6-day trial. Now the Scottish 6-day is a tough, long week, and you're going to be doing up to and sometimes over 100 miles in a day, and most of that is relatively off-road along forest tracks and moorland crossings. You are going to have to be very self-efficient. You can go 2-3 hours without seeing any road or support crews or support vehicles, so you really need to be prepared to be able to fix your own bike on the moor side if there happens to be an accident, either a crash or potential issue with water getting into the bike, with it being rather wet at the moment. So these are the things that I like to carry just in case they're needed. You really want to invest in a decent backpack. There's loads out there in the cycle industry and in the motorcycle industry, so do a little bit of research and make sure you don't skimp on a cheap bag. It needs to be good quality because it's got to be very comfortable and durable throughout the week. Hydration backpacks are the best. It means you don't have to faff around with bottles. You can drink on the go, so we really do recommend that you do that. Now you want to try and carry the least amount possible to keep the weight off your back, but at the same time you need to carry enough that if there is a problem you should be able to get yourself off the moor and finish the day still. There's no point carrying any tools or any parts that you don't actually know how to fit to your bike. I know a lot of riders out there that carry way too much kit and they're not actually capable of repairing or replacing some of the parts that they take with them. So it really is no point taking those parts if you can't fix your bike. Personally, I carry a throttle cable, spare clutch and brake lever, gear lever, rear brake pedal and chain tensioner. Apart from that, I've got a spare front inner tube, and I've also got a thermostat loop switch that will make the fan run all the time if the thermostat happens to fail throughout the day. Klingon refill strips and the tool to be able to plug a puncture for the rear tyre. Also carry a spare split link for my chain in case that happens to snap. I also take a little bit of blue workshop roll so I can lay it out and be able to put, say, like the carburetor jets on top of something like that if I have to take my carb off in the middle of the moor, just so I don't lose any of those bits and pieces when having to do something like that. Also take a spare spark plug. I'm also carrying a decent quality hand pump and pressure gauge, as long as the little CO2 air canisters to be able to pump up the rear tyre if it happens to lose all its air and needs to be popped back up onto the rim. One thing I also do carry is a number of cable ties and a few odds and sods spares of Allen key bolts and nuts that fit, so like the airbox bolts, something like that that come and can rattle loose quite easily. Tool wise, I try and keep it as minimal as possible. I only carry the tools that actually fit my bike. You'll see some people will take a whole full adjustable set and they'll have spanners and Allen keys that aren't even the right fitment for their bike. So take those out. That's unnecessary weight that you don't need to be carrying around. And one last thing, remember that everyone has to use a lanyard kill button this year. So it's always best to have a spare magnet and strap in the bag just in case yours goes missing at any point throughout the day. And apart from all that in my backpack, I'll just have some energy gels and food, along with my water in the camel bladder that comes in these backpacks. Good luck to everyone. It's only next week. Hopefully you'll have a good, enjoyable time and trouble-free. We'll see you up there.